So Leo, I suppose coming to the end of this 13 block now, like I mean, it's getting increasingly difficult, I suppose, given the run that you're on now, to try and sort of analyse, like you like yourself and Stuart and all the other coaches have ways of figuring out where you guys can improve on. What from the weekend against Leon can you look to take to Benetton?
Probably one of the big things there is defensively. I thought we looked a little bit passive, and yeah, like it's a fine line, like because some of the combinations of Leon, we weren't really too sure what they would deliver, because say Bhutan as a 10 as an example hadn't played really there this season, so he's a 15 traditionally, and how would they go about approaching the game? They took us on around the ruck, quite clever with some of their offloading, big forwards as well. They got the rumble on us a couple of times. So from a set piece point of view, defensively we can be better in terms of some of our line out maul defence, where they got a rumble on us a couple of times, won some penalties, which gives them access into the game. Defensively, around the ruck, just that their ability just to stand us up and offload the ball. So I thought Leon were pretty effective in that area of the game. So there's always parts, even some bits of our attack as well can be improved upon. But overall, we were pleased with the win and the outcome of the game from Sunday. So it's just turn the page now and we're off we go again, and it's quick turnaround into this week, and the players, they've got themselves into a good position over the course of this block, particularly in Europe now, and it's just about trying to finish the job really, isn't it, now at this point? So it's a bit clear, the picture, because we were relying on other things going into last weekend, a couple of things that probably fall in our favour, so it's a bit clear the message for us now as a group. So put in performance, we know there's certain things that we want to target this week, but ultimately we go out and win the game, and we get home quarterfinals, so it's a bit cleaner in terms of what we need out of the game.
I suppose I've spoken to you before about as well the rotation throughout this 13 game block. I mean, especially with the Champions Cup in years gone by, there's teams used to look quite similar in the Champions Cup, because it's obviously it's a greater, well, I wouldn't say it's a bigger competition, but it's one of the major ones. But you've had the freedom to rotate the squad quite a lot. What's the secret of that success in being able to do that? Well, in being able to rotate the squad.
I think we're quite fortunate, so we've quite a settled group, so we don't we're not out there with mass recruitment, looking around and bringing players in. So we've a lot of young players have come through, so they're part of meetings on a weekly basis, so they get to see. So when they step into the team, they've already had a lot of exposure to meetings, understanding what it is we're trying to do and what does it look like on the field, and then B, the training involvement as well. So they're up to speed with training, so they get to expose themselves in that scenario. So I think trying to get the understanding of what it is our game plan is, that's probably the biggest thing. 4 years ago we struggled during this period because we had a new coaching group, plus the disruption of not having had a pre-season together. Guys come back from the World Cup and all those bits, and then you're trying to you never really get any positive momentum. Whereas straight away we had a lot of those similar challenges, but we'd come off a season where there's a bit more, I guess, continuity with the coaching group and philosophy as what we're trying to do as a team. So the guys have come back in and they've slotted in pretty well. Attitude has been really good, so we've had a lot of positive momentum week to week. So that's been the main reasons really. So for us, it's just trying to drive that clarity of messaging all the time, so the players are nice and clear as to what it is they're trying to do. So they're able to problem solve on the pitch then, and that's probably the next step in terms of the evolution of the team. So other teams are going to come with different plans, and how we adapt on the day is probably the next part of the evolution. So but that's just a constant sort of evolution of our team, what we're trying to do as a group. So guys are working hard, and that's the main point, and competition in the team is good. Guys understand this is their window this week, and how important that is, because there's inevitably someone else waiting to get their chance, and we're just picking then the team on what we see. So as we get close to the Six Nations. Obviously Six Nations coming around the corner now, and guys all want to put their hands up for selection, so they know it's important, not just in our team, but then they're competing against all the other provinces and provincial guys that are out doing their thing for the other teams that they're playing for. So yeah, it's an exciting time.
Looking ahead to Benetton then this weekend, you know, how are you, like it's obviously the shorter turnaround, does it make it that little bit easier to get the message across, or?
Yeah, like with the short turnaround, it's just, you know, we train very hard leading into Lyon. You know, we've tapered a bit this week, coming to the end of this block. So guys hopefully have some juice in the tank now for the game. So, you know, Treviso are a team, Benetton are a team we know very well. So we played them in round 1 of the Pro 14, Guinness Pro 14. And we played them obviously in round 1 of Europe as well. So, and you know, we've struggled in large parts of those games. For numerous reasons, I think they're a team that knows very, very well, so they have a clear picture as to what to expect against us. They're a big physical team as well, have been quite effective in terms of slowing us up, you know, or slowing us down. And so for us, it's just making sure we try and keep the game dynamic and we get into the game that we want to play rather than get sucked into the game that Treviso want to play. So, yeah, they're a well-coached team. They've lost some very narrow games this year, which means that probably, you know, in terms of confidence, it seems to affect them slightly. So for us, making sure that we are clinical in terms of taking the opportunities that we create, or the opportunities that we hopefully will create in the game. So because they're a team that are very good at sticking in games, and they're a very, very dogged bunch of players, a lot of experience at the international level, and you know, it means a lot to them. Visibly it means a lot to them. Certainly talking to a lot of their coaches over the last couple of seasons, seeing what they've tried to build in recent seasons. You know, they're a very tight-knit group, so it certainly won't be easy for us.
Yeah, after such a big block of games since November, more or less, and the fact that you've avoided any sort of major injuries or serious injuries, how important that is in the overall context of rotating the game?
Yeah, I definitely think that freshness, like, you know, the way the game is now, like it's as physical, if not more physical, than it's ever been. So, you know, it's something that we're very conscious of, and you know, like we have, you know, similar to all the provinces would have, like 45 senior players, senior squad members, and then the 20 academies guys. I think we've already used 50 players. So, you know, we've a couple of long-term injuries. The likes of Dan Levy, Jack Cohn and Barry Daly haven't played this season. So at some stage, hopefully, they'll come back into the mix. A couple of other guys that have had bits and pieces over the course of the season as well, that have some played, some are missing currently. So, like every team, you know, to deal with those ups and downs as well. But you know, I think managing players is a hugely important part of any successful team or squad. You know, what we've used 55, 56, 57 players over the last couple of seasons. I think that's generally the number that we get to. So I think we're over 50 as things stand at the moment, and you know, that's just, it is what it is. You know, it's I don't think that's going to change drastically. So. But I think more important at the point we made at the start is making sure the young guys that come through, when they are exposed, they're very clear as to what's being required of them, and they've seen a lot of the pictures already in training. I think the World Cup period is a very good period for us to get more exposure. So the academy guys are training pretty much full time with the senior team. Couple of guys, younger guys, obviously the year ones in particular, get managed maybe slightly differently. But you know, this period, even just seeing the pros, where a lot of those guys were away to the World Cup, are off for 2 weeks. Again, you know, we have our academy guys training with us full time, so which is important, I think, for the sustainability of the club as well.
And for the game on against Treviso, rotating the squad and giving some of the international guys a rest is an important factor here, is it?
Yes and no. Like a lot of guys have had 2 weeks off already, so some of them are dying for more game time. So it's just trying to get that balance. So you know, we'll have a couple of changes to try and freshen things up, but it's just trying to get that balance between a bit of cohesion in these 2 weeks with a very short turnaround as well. As I said, we trained hard leading to Lyon, so it's just a bit more cohesion, and see how we go this week.